Dear students, this is Kuldeep Singh Gaur from Department of Zoology, Government Meera Girls College. Today we are going to revise what we had studied in the previous lecture regarding sericulture. Definition of sericulture is, as I have told you in last lecture, the production of silk from silkworm by rearing practice on commercial scale is called as sericulture. This commercial scale is very important because the silkworm also lays cocoon in the wild, but if we collect them and if we make silk out of it, then it is economically unviable. That's why we follow the culture practice. First of all, the silkworm were discovered in China by Lodzu Empress of Quang Tai in 2697 BC, and therefore the sericulture industry is the oldest industry in the country, dates back to 2nd century BC. We had discussed number of species which produces silk, among them mulberry silkworm produced by Bombyx, mulberry silk produced by Bombyx mori, and the worm feeds on mulberry leaves. Such a silk is called as mulberry silk. Then tussar silkworm Antheria royali, which feeds on oak, produces tussar silk. Erie or Arundis silkworm, also called as Attacus ricini, produces Erie silk. Then Muga silk Antheria asama feeds on oak and other forest trees, produces Muga silk. Theopelia religiosa is also one of the species which feeds on Machilus and Fucus species, produces Devmuga silk, and giant silkworm Attacus altus, as I had told you in the last lecture, is the largest of the insect. Silk fiber, as you know, is a protein produced from silk glands of the silkworm. The silk glands are nothing but modified salivary glands. Now the species which gives out one crop per year, they are termed as univolutine. Then if two crops are produced in a year, they are termed as bivolutine. 3 crops, then it is termed as multivolutine. In India, major silk producing centers are Assam, Bengal, Madras, Punjab, Kashmir and Karnataka. India produces these days around 3000 tons of silk per year and ranks third in production of silk in world. Mysore, Karnataka in India is the leading producer state of our country. We have 2 prime institutes working behind the sericulture in India. One of them is Central and Sericultural Station, Behrampur, situated in West Bengal. Central Research and Training Institute in Mysore. Then we had studied the life cycle of the silkworm. You can look over here that the adults which are male and female about 5 centimeter and having hairy body, whitish, creamy whitish in color. They mates to produce eggs. These eggs are generally laid beneath the leaves. About 4 to 500 eggs are produced, and the hatching takes place in about 10 days. The first larva is called as first instar larva. It undergoes four moltings. Four moltings to get itself converted into a full grown caterpillar, which is about 7.5 centimeter and having 12 segments, yellowish white in color. I had told you that this is a voracious feeder, and at the at its at its production presence, if it is not fed by mulberry leaves, then the ensuing crop would be very poor, and great economic loss would be accrued to us in the end. When it grows fully, it stops feeding. Before that, I would like to tell you that dipose type silkworm are found in temperate region and non-dipose type in subtropical region. Dipose is a period of suspended development during an insect's life cycle. The dipose is triggered by many conditions, especially some environmental cues as food availability, photoperiod, temperature, and it can occur in any stage of the life cycle as embryonic stage, larval stage, pupal stage, or adult stage as far as insects are concerned. This larva, this caterpillar, when grows fully, has salivary glands turned into silk glands. It stops feeding and undergoes the process called as pupation. During pupation, the caterpillar secretes a sticky fluid through the silk gland, and it turns its head round and round and get the caterpillar entangled in a case called as cocoon. Cocoon is the white bed of pupa. The animal which is there in the bed is called as pupa. About 12,500 cocoon produces 1 pound of silk. This pupa, upon maturation, secretes an alkaline white fluid which softens one of the ends of cocoon, and after softening it pierces through the pore created and comes out as imago, which matures into adults. Then I told you the definition of sericulture, and the requirements I had mentioned were machan, which is the place of rearing silkworm, the rearing trays, in which the hatched eggs are kept with leaves ready to be eaten by the larvae. And at that time, if the crop of mulberry is not available, it might cause harm to the crop. We should have sharp chopping knives for cutting mulberry leaves, and we should have spinning trays in which various stages of caterpillars which are ready for pupation are kept. We should have baskets for distribution of mulberry leaves, hygrometers to study the humidity conditions, and thermometer for temperature. We also keep oven to regulate the temperature. In fact, the eggs, which are also called as seeds, can be regulated as far as hatching is concerned by regulation of their temperature. Fridge again stores the eggs, which are seeds for next generation also. Now, what is rearing? Rearing is the continuous care from egg laying through estivation, hibernation, incubation, early and late larval care to production of egg is rearing. The practitioners who practice sericulture also practice grainage management because customers come to them for good quality seeds, and rearers provide them these seeds or eggs should be free from diseases. And some people, they directly ask for cocoon who cannot handle the earlier stages of the life cycle of silkworm, ask for more mature stages. Cocoons at that time of grainage management are subjected to sexual selection by cutting one end of the cocoon manually. Examination of eggs and the entire stages of life cycle is done to detect that and if it is infected with any of the diseases. And after this, mass emergence and fertilization of moth is allowed. Male and active male is active right from the beginning, and female is active but laden with eggs. They should be separated at once after emergence from the cocoon, as they would fertilize the same stock. Now, female of one lot is kept with male of other lot. We disallow copulation between male and female of the same lot, and once separated, the male and female, they are kept for breeding with males and females of other stocks. Copulation is allowed, fertilization happens, and egg laying procedure takes place. Again, when the larva hatches out, it needs mulberry leaves, and we should have insect proof trays placed, because some insects, they feed upon or kill the stages and caterpillars and larvae of the silkworm. Then we supply seeds to the rearers. Some untrained people ask for later stages, and trained, they ask even for egg or first or second instar larva. The humidity conditions which have to be maintained over there is 60 to 70%, and optimal temperature is 23 degree to 27 degree centigrades. After cocoon is formed, stifling is done. Stifling is the procedure by which the cocoons are dropped in hot water or placed in hot steam to kill the animal inside the cocoon, which is pupa. This is a cruel method, still it has to be performed, because we cannot wait for the pupa, mature pupa or imago to come out, because if it naturally comes out, it would kill, it would destroy the thread, and we won't get a long thread. Now, the killed cocoon, we take out one of its end and wrap around a large wheel, and just turns it around, and this is called as, this silk which is on the wheel is called as reeled silk. Then this is processed and spun, it is the spun silk, this is called as spun silk. I had also told you what is silk. Silk is a pasty secretion of the modification of salivary gland, which is termed as silk gland in silkworm. The silk thread is made up of two cores of fibrin. One is tough and elastic, insoluble, cemented together with sericin, a substance. Gelatinous proteins, which is easy soluble in warm water, forms another core of fibrin. This is all in this lecture. In the next lecture, we would take the diseases which affect the silkworm culture. This is all in this lecture. Goodbye now.